gosh. Talk about sand and glass blasting into your face. Holy macaroni!
At the height of her fame, Lizzy vanished from Matt's off-road recovery, and the rumors started instantly. Now, the truth is out, and it's crazier than anyone guessed. We're pulling back the curtain to reveal how a heartbreaking childhood tragedy put Lizzy on a collision course with the off-road legend, Matt Wetzel. You won't believe the details of the insurance fraud scandal that threatened to tear the whole thing down. And most importantly, we'll uncover the real, unexpected reason Lizzy had to confirm the rumors by walking away from it all. More than just mud and trucks. Right when she was at the absolute peak of her popularity, Lizzy, the beloved and skilled mechanic from Matt's off-road recovery, disappeared from the channel.
That was awesome.
In July of 2023, she announced she was leaving, and the internet went into a frenzy. For the millions of fans who had come to see her as the heart of the crew, her exit felt like a devastating blow to the show. Instantly, the rumor mill started churning. The comment sections were an explosion of theories and questions. Why would she leave such a successful operation? Truth be told, many fans jumped to one conclusion. There must have been a massive fight. They cooked up stories of a bitter falling out between Lizzy and her mentor, Matt Wetzel, or maybe with other members of the tight-knit crew. It seemed like the only logical explanation for such an abrupt departure from a channel that was pulling in millions of views.
I have decided to move on. I'm not going to be working here anymore.
But here's the crazy part. While fans were busy speculating about personal drama, a very real and far more serious scandal was brewing that threatened to sink the entire Matt's off-road recovery brand. The timing of it all made everything seem connected, leaving viewers to wonder what was really going on behind the scenes. You see, in late 2021, the leader of the pack, Matt Wetzel himself, was hit with a bombshell accusation. He was formally charged with insurance fraud. That's a serious crime, meaning he was accused of intentionally deceiving an insurance company to get paid. The company in question was the massive automobile association AAA, and the charges struck at the very core of what the channel was famous for, rescuing vehicles from the wild, rugged terrain of Utah. Investigators alleged that Matt's company, Winder Towing, had been systematically submitting invoices to AAA for off-road recoveries that were never covered by their policies. Get this, AAA roadside assistance is designed for your car breaking down on a normal paved road. It was never intended to cover the extreme rescues that Matt's team built their fame on, like pulling a specialized side-by-side out of a remote sand dune miles from any civilization. The state investigation uncovered a pattern. In one case that was filmed and put on YouTube for millions to see, the team performed a complex rescue of a Polaris RZR.
We're gonna go out there and see if we can upright it, and check and make sure it's ready to go and drive it back in. That's the plan. If not, we'll tow it in.
However, the bills sent to AAA claimed they had rescued a standard Jeep Wrangler. The rabbit hole goes even deeper. The owner of that RZR later told investigators that Matt had instructed him to use a friend's AAA membership to cover the costly recovery. All told, the investigation found that Matt's company had improperly collected over $15,000 from AAA for jobs their program was never meant to pay for. This wasn't just a simple mistake. It was a calculated scheme that unraveled under scrutiny. The news sent shockwaves through the fan community. The hero who could solve any problem out on the trail was now facing real-world legal trouble. This scandal created a dark cloud that hung over the entire channel. Suddenly, the fun-loving adventures had a complicated and ugly backstory. While Lizzy's departure wasn't directly linked to the fraud case in the official story, the timing was impossible for fans to ignore. It fueled the fire, making everyone wonder if she had seen the writing on the wall and decided to get out before things got worse. The drama was far from over, and this legal battle was only the first crack in the seemingly perfect facade of the off-road recovery family. Before the fame in YouTube. To understand why Lizzy's departure and the channel's legal troubles were such a big deal, you have to go back to the beginning. Her story doesn't start with YouTube fame. It starts in a small Utah town, surrounded by the stunning red rock landscapes that would later become the backdrop for her adventures. Her passion for all things mechanical and off-road wasn't a hobby. Believe it or not, it was in her blood. Her father, a man named Stuart, was a die-hard off-road enthusiast and, as it turns out, one of Matt Wetzel's closest friends. This friendship is the absolute key to the entire story. From the moment she was born, Lizzy was immersed in the world of trucks, engines, and dirt. While other kids were inside playing video games, Lizzy was in the garage watching her dad work.
No, you moved it. It's not tight enough.
It ain't moving no more.
He didn't just let her watch, he taught her. She learned the basics of driving in treacherous terrain and, more importantly, how to diagnose and fix a vehicle when things went wrong. These weren't just weekend lessons. This was her childhood. She developed a deep, genuine passion, not just for driving, but for the intricate mechanics that made it all possible. And if that wasn't enough to shape her future, she became obsessed with learning every aspect of the craft. She even became a gifted welder, a skill that requires an incredibly steady hand and immense focus. By the time she was a teenager, she wasn't just some girl who liked trucks. She was a seriously competent mechanic who could hold her own with anyone. But then, just as her future seemed bright and clear, her entire world shattered. At the heartbreakingly young age of 14, her father, Stuart, her hero, mentor, and best friend, was tragically killed in a car accident. The loss was unimaginable. The roar of the engines in her life went silent, and the future she had envisioned was suddenly dark and uncertain. This is where the story takes a pivotal turn. In the face of such a devastating tragedy, Matt Wetzel didn't just offer condolences. He stepped up. Bound by the deep friendship he shared with his lost friend, Matt made a promise to look after Stuart's daughter. He took Lizzy under his wing, essentially becoming the father figure she so desperately needed. He wasn't just a family friend anymore, he was her guide and her mentor.
How did I do that backwards?
It takes a big man to admit when Lizzy made a mistake.
This is the truth nobody expected behind their powerful on-screen chemistry. Their bond wasn't just for the cameras, it was forged in loss and built on Matt's promise to his fallen friend. He gave her a place to channel her grief and her incredible skills. At the time, Matt was just starting his YouTube channel, Matt's Off-Road Recovery. He invited Lizzy to be a part of it, and she jumped in headfirst. This grieving teenager, armed with all the knowledge her father had given her, became a crucial part of the recovery team and, soon enough, a star was born. A new life beyond the Recovery Channel. After months of wild ideas and dark rumors flying around the internet, the real reason for Lizzy's exit from Matt's Off-Road Recovery finally came out. For a long time, fans were left to guess. Online forums and comment sections were on fire with theories. Some people were sure there had been a huge fight behind the scenes. They thought maybe Lizzy and Matt had a big argument that couldn't be fixed. Others whispered that the pressure of the show's legal problems with insurance had become too much for her to handle. The story seemed to be heading in a dark direction, but the truth that nobody saw coming was that her leaving had nothing to do with a secret fight, backstage drama, or the insurance scandal. It was not a story about anger or problems at all. The real reason she left was simple, nice, and life-changing. It was for love. This news changes everything for the people who were so sure that a dark secret had broken the team apart. It showed that sometimes a big change isn't because something is wrong, but because something new and wonderful is beginning. It turns out, there is more to Lizzy's story than just fixing trucks and pulling cars out of the mud. What most people don't talk about is the happy private life Lizzy was building when the cameras were off.
I smiled the whole entire time. Oh, it was like, people ask me all the time, it was the best roller coaster of my life. Nothing could top that. It wasn't dangerous. It looked like we were going like 40 or 50 miles an hour. We were going 15.
In the year 2022, she had gotten married to a man named Clancy Ballard. The thing is, Clancy was not just some guy. He was also a big fan of off-roading and loved being in the great outdoors, just like Lizzy. But their shared dreams went even further than just adventure. Together, they imagined a different kind of life, one that was quieter and more connected to the land. They both shared a deep passion for raising horses. They dreamed of a life far away from the noise of engines and the stress of emergency rescues. For a little while, Lizzy did an amazing job of balancing everything. She would work long, hard days with the recovery crew and then go home to her new life as a wife. But as time went on, she and Clancy started to make a big plan for their future together, a plan that would change everything. In 2023, they decided it was time to start a brand new adventure. Clancy's family owned a large farm in a beautiful, quiet part of Utah. The young couple made the huge choice to move there and start building their life. They wanted to have a calmer life on the ranch, making a peaceful and happy place where they could one day raise a family. What's really going on is that the things that were important to Lizzy had started to change. The excitement of a dangerous recovery mission was being replaced by the dream of building a home and a future with her husband. She had to choose a different path to happiness. And just when you thought the story couldn't get any kinder, the way the crew said goodbye proved how strong and real their friendship truly was. There was no anger or sadness. In fact, they gave her the most amazing send-off you could imagine. They threw a giant party for her to celebrate all the amazing work she had done with the team. At the party, they surprised her with an unbelievable farewell gift: a 2016 Ford F-150 EcoBoost truck. This wasn't just any old truck. It was the exact vehicle she had once said was her absolute dream car. It was the perfect gift. It was something she could actually use every day for her new life on the farm, a powerful tool to help with all the hard work. But it was also a gift straight from the heart. It was a sign from Matt and the crew that they supported her new dream 100%. To show the fans how much she meant to them, the team also made a special, limited edition baseball hat in their online store to honor her time on the show, making sure her part in their history would never be forgotten. So, at 24 years old, Lizzy did confirm a rumor. But it was the happy rumor that she was moving on to a new, exciting part of her life. She even promised her fans and the crew that she would try to visit from time to time for a special guest appearance, giving everyone hope that they would see her again. Her story is a strong one. She faced a terrible loss when she was just a young girl. But with the help of a family that chose her, she turned that pain into amazing strength, becoming a hero to millions of people watching around the world. But when you sit back and think about it as a fan watching from home, you have to wonder, does a story ever end so perfectly? With the big legal scandal happening around the same time, and with other important members like Trevor and Ed also leaving the show, it makes you question things. Are we only seeing the happy, clean version of the truth that they want us to see? Could we be missing a key detail that connects all these events? The thing is, fame, money, and personal problems create a very messy mix. And sometimes, even when a story sounds simple, there's a whole lot more going on just under the surface. So, was Lizzy's happy ending the whole story, or did she get out just before the walls started closing in? What do you think really happened behind the scenes? Let us know in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more stories that uncover the truth.